Alright, well, it's been a while since I've tied a fly and videoed it, put it on the website and stuff. So it's raining today, and I guess today's as good a day as any. We're going to tie a pretty cool little fly. I'll show you the finished product. I don't actually have one tied right now, but it's kind of a neat little fly for shallow water fishing, which is what I mostly do. And this particular fly is the favorite of a guy that shops in here a lot. He likes real bright colors. He thinks that the fish have a better opportunity finding them if the casts aren't always perfect. So we've got a Gamakatsu B10 stinger hook, number 2. You could use a number 1, just a very thin wire, wide gap, extremely sharp hook. So we're going to attach our thread in the back, and first thing I'm going to do is take some fin raccoon. He seems to like peach and pink and purple and real bright colors. So we're going to take some fin raccoon. There's a lot of movement, as you can see. It's going to breathe a lot in the water. I don't want to pull out any of the under fur really, or the guard hairs. I want to leave it kind of long and bushy for that movement that it's going to create. I'm just going to tie it on. I'm not real particular here about being clean. Fortunately, my thread is not cooperating, so let me just tie this off right quick and redo this. I guess it's under wrapped on here. Alright, let's see if this works better. So let me get my thread restarted here. Alright, so anyway, sorry about the delay there. Reattach my thread. Next, I'm just going to put in a little bit of purple marabou. Once again, just to give the fly some bulk. I like the base fibers of the marabou just because they seem to be a lot webbier and have a little bit more movement than the fibers at the top. So I want these bottom fibers down here a little more to my liking, I guess you could say. I'm just going to cut them off of the stem. I'm going to place some on each side. Once again, I'm not real particular about the effect of tying too much thread on or anything like that. It ends up cleaning itself up as I go through the tying process here. Tie some on top and on my other side. Seems a little bit disproportionate, so let me put some longer ones on this side as well. That's it. Basically, it's just a really bright pink and purple style fly. Nothing special so far, just a nice tail with a lot of movement. Go ahead and put a mono fouling guard in here just to keep the fly from material, actually, from wanting to foul around the hook. And once again, you always want to tie your loop on top of the hook or on top of the material to get the most effect from the guard itself, and then pull all the fibers up through the loop, and that basically forms that loop around the sides of the material as well as underneath. So that's really the purpose of the guard, is to keep this from wanting to wrap, and by tying it on the top and then pulling the materials through, it seems to work better for that. Next, I'm going to take I love Jalapeno, I don't know why, or Matuka or something as a collar material, because you get a little bit of the marabou quality and then you get some of the hackle quality as well. So I have a purple Jalapeno feather here, so I'm going to tie that in, and I'm just going to palmer it. I'm not going to use a lot of the fibers from the actual stem where the hackles are. I like that marabou more than I do the actual real stiff fibers. Tie that off just to give it a nice collar, and then I'll incorporate a I'm going to incorporate a pink one in there. We got the whole purple and pink color combination going, so why not continue it? Let's throw a pink one in here as well. Once again, just tying it in. We're going to palmer it just like we would any other hackle, but we get the benefit of that marabou base. And then we get a few wraps of the actual stiffer fibers just to hold everything into the backwards position so that it gives a nice transition to the fly. So, you know, so far we're looking alright. You know, I could have probably spent more time wrapping the hackle and so forth, but whatever, it's going to serve our purpose, because now we're going to do something kind of neat that maybe we've never seen before. Just kind of the point behind these little videos. I mean, there's a million videos showing you how to tie flies. That's not really our thing. We're trying to show some different ideas and techniques that you might not have seen before. So right now we've got a basic body and tail, a lot of movement from the materials, nice collar to transition the body. We found, or I found, or whoever found, these pom-poms. They're just little glitter pom-poms that you can get at Michael's or craft stores. And they actually make a great head. You can actually trim it. So instead of stacking Enrico fiber or deer hair or whatever, you can get these pom-poms, and you can put those on here as a head, which we're going to do. So they're kind of a pre-made, really neat concept to use here. I'm going to take a nail or a bodkin or whatever. I'm going to poke a hole through the center of this pom-pom. Try to get it dead center. And that's essentially how I'm going to slide it over the hook. So I'm basically just poking a hole all the way through the pom-pom in the dead center if I can. And then all I'm going to do is put a little bit of Zap-A-Gap on my hook shank where the thread wraps are. I'm going to try to pull the pom-pom off in a way that I can remember where that hole is. And I'm just going to slide it over. Slide it over the hook there, and then let that Zap-A-Gap kind of grab it and bind it. The only thing I'm going to do right now is just to make sure everything's where I'm going to want it. I'm going to put some thread wraps in front to tie any of these loose little ends that might have been created from sliding that guy on there. Go ahead and tie it off so we can trim this head. Just a real couple half inches, nothing special. We're going to put a weed guard on here later. And now we basically have a head. I mean, it could have been any fiber. It's just this head from a pom-pom. So all I'm going to do now is just come in here, start just cutting it down a little bit. I'm not concerned. Like always, I don't really put a lot of value in getting an exact shape in the beginning. Just get a rough cut. Alright, so basically we've got to just cut some of the volume out of here. Now, there's a million head shapes. You can do it perfectly round, you can do a cone. You know, I mean, it's just personal preference as to how you want your head shaped for what effect you want. I'm going to make a generic, just very cylindrical head so it's fairly even. So I'm just turning my vise and cutting the material. I would normally probably hold this in my hand, but being that I'm wanting to show you guys what's going on with this, I'm just cutting it in the vise, but I probably wouldn't do this because of the mess it's creating. So as I turn, I'm just trying to keep the scissors cutting evenly. I'm trying not to cut too much on one side. I'll come through and get some of the excess off around the eye. Well, as you can see, I'm going to have to remove it just temporarily because I can't work on it like that. Alright, now I can get back in the vise. So I just cleaned up the little head area there, but basically I'm just going to come through now and just really try to, I mean, you can spend as much time, I mean, anybody that you just don't want to trim too much off, but you can spend 30-40 minutes here just being as perfect as you want. I've seen people come back with razor blades and, you know, really try to get an effect they're trying to create, but whatever. Let's just say, for all intent and purposes right now, that this is the finished shape that we're looking for. I'm kind of anal about these things, but I'm going to try not to be today because I don't want to take too long to tie the fly. But basically got a little wool head, a little bit of glitter in there. It's kind of built in fairly quick. I mean, if you look at the time it takes to stack materials and pack them and whatever, this is actually a very quick and easy fly to tie. The last thing I'm going to do is put some little eyes. I always use hot glue just to adhere eyes. You can kind of melt the material that it's going onto a little bit and get a little socket kind of built in if you want. Don't really put much glue, to be honest with you. Since I didn't have my eyes ready, probably need to come back and just get this heated up again. Just a little bit of glue. It's really a small amount. The eyes, I don't really have much success keeping them on regardless, so it's just for the time being. I made a little eye socket, make a little another eye socket, kind of melting the hole that they're going to go in at the same time that I'm putting a little glue. Kind of recesses the eye so it's not sticking out as much. Just personal preference like everything else. That one doesn't have any glue, so just put a little bit of glue in there. Like I said, just recessing the eye by melting that material down. And anytime that I'm really trying to form a head, I think one of the most important things is putting the eyes on, because that's going to harden the material and it's going to make it move. Now, with the eyes in place, you can really come back and give a final trimming. I don't think you could ever really achieve the defined look you're trying to get until after you put those eyes on. So I wouldn't really spend a whole lot of time trying to trim the head perfectly until after you got the head. And that's it. Put a weed guard on here right quick. I'll be right with you, boss. Stick a weed guard on here. Got a customer walking in, so let me just throw this guy. I got two people walking in, so try to make this quick, right quick. We'll get this done. Oh, lost my thing, so let me get this on here. I'll be right with you, Captain. And then we'll tie this off, and I'll make this really quick for you. And after this, we'll be all set, guys. So here's the video we got done. There's the fly for you, little wool head type thing. There you go, my friends. So if you have any questions, let me know.